Welcome into our season preview here with Associate Head Coach Jeff Horrigan. I know a lot of people are clamoring to get this out because they're ready for the 2024 Huskies season as UConn gets ready to go in Tampa later on this week. Jeff, obviously fall ball in the books, preseason almost fully in the books. Let's get to know some of these guys. We'll start off with the catchers. Obviously some returners, but you know a couple newbies in there as well.
Absolutely, excited for the new season, Jonesy, and we'll kick it off with the catchers. Returning, Matt Garbowski going into his third season. You know, for Matt last year, had an up and down year with battling some injuries, and but I thought he finished, from an offensive side, I thought he finished on a good note. He worked really hard over the summer to get strong. He stayed on campus, did a lot of hard work with our athletic trainer and our strength staff, and he's looking great. Hitting the ball great, catching great, throwing, so really excited about what he's going to do this year. Then obviously our captain Ryan Hyde, just a vocal leader, just the guy that rallies the troops. He's always in there talking smack to the guys, keeping it loose, but also making sure we're getting the job done. He's catching the ball well. He's offensively, he finished with a really strong weekend this past weekend, and from a health standpoint, he's looking great as well. So those two guys are looking awesome. And then we added a new guy, Matt Malcolm. Matt is, he's a champion. He played at Eastern Connecticut, won a national championship, real competitor. Plays the game with a chip on his shoulder, adds a lot of pop to our lineup. He hit 4 or 5 home runs in the fall, hit a couple this past winter, and he's looking good as well. So he'll bring a lot of energy to the table. And one of our other guys, Michael Oates, who's a freshman. Unfortunately, he had a little injury, so he's working his way back, but that catching core is really strong.
You just talked about injuries. We head over to infielders, and unfortunately, hamate bones with Luke Broadhurst and Brian Padilla. But overall, with infielders, a lot of veteran guys there for you. Yeah,
no, infield-wise, you mentioned, Padilla and Broadhurst are, they're working their way back. I think Broadhurst has a real shot to be there this weekend. It was good to see him out there this past weekend, getting at bat, playing defense, showing his versatility, playing a little bit of third, playing a little bit of first base, because he's a really good athlete. We know what he brings to the table offensively with the power and the mature at bats. So he's looking good. Brian, kind of transitioning over to third base a little bit, but obviously he could play short, he could play second, and he's looked really good. And from an offensive standpoint, he gives great at bats. He's a guy that constantly you're seeing 6 to 8 pitch at bats and fighting off tough pitches, and we're looking forward to when he's healthy again. Then Paul Tamero, he finished the season really well. Paul is. He's the silent assassin out there. He's not your vocal leader, but he leads by presence. He leads by example. Just everything he's doing, and he's been outstanding this winter. I think every time you turn and watch him hit, there's a rocket coming off of his bat. And then defensively, he's steady as can be. Great range. Never in a rush. Never in a rush out there because he does all the footwork beforehand. So he's looking good. Ryan Daniels, newcomer last year, freshman, really burst on the scene to give us energy. Outstanding base runner, plays with that energy. Defensively, he did a really good job for us last year. And then as a freshman, I think he hit around 275, which is outstanding. And we're looking for him to take another step this year, be that energy giver, but also he's worked really hard on his swing, and he's in a real good place. Maddox Delana, first base right now. I mean, you lose a big guy like Huber, it's tough to supplement that with the power. But Maddox, I tell you what, that left-handed stroke in this yard, he hit 5 home runs in the fall. I think he has 5 or 6 home runs this winter. So he's looking very good, and he does a nice job at first base as well. He's a pitcher. He was a pitcher, hitter in high school, so he's a good athlete. And he looks very good right now. The new guys, we have 3 freshmen, Tyler Minnick, Rob Rispoli, and Brett Davino. All of them bring certain traits to the table. I'd say Tyler right now has really come on with his offense. He had probably one of the best winters of all the hitters, and he really made an adjustment from the fall to now. You know, some of those breaking balls that he was chasing in the fall, well, he was spitting on them this winter. And he looks really good. And we're looking at him at third base, shortstop, second base. All those guys, they have to be versatile. You know, same thing with Rob. Rob has played excellent defense. He showed some good things with the bat as well. He's quick. Brett, the bat is probably a little bit ahead of his glove right now, but all of those guys bring some good things to the table. So, you know, defensively, offensively from that unit, I think we're looking pretty good.
We shift out to the outfield. A lot of usual suspects out there, and
yeah.
Boy, in the preseason, it seems like all of them are swinging it really well. And defensively, it's a lot of fun to watch those guys out there go and get it.
Yeah, that's a deep group right there. I mean, I've been doing this for a while now, and it's probably the deepest outfield group I'd have. I mean, I'm very comfortable with any guy in there. You know, obviously, you got your veterans. You got Corey Morton, who's back, and the kid just continues to get better and better. I mean, that's all on him. I mean, I get here at 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Who's the guy I see? I see Corey hitting. Same thing with Jake Studley. I mean, I constantly see those guys just working on their craft. But Corey's made a jump defensively. He looks, I mean, he's got the speed, but he looks really comfortable out there. He's going to get the ball. He's having a great winter as well. He's putting the ball in play more, utilizing that speed. So obviously we know he can pop a ball, hit one over the fence. But I think overall his game is much more consistent. Jake, obviously the preseason Big East Player of the Year, he burst onto the scene, had an outstanding first year for us, and he's a true competitor. He always looks mad in the dugout, but that's just who he is. That's how he competes, and we're looking for him to have another great season and also just be a leader with the way he goes about his business. And then those are your corner guys right there. Now, I'd probably say every guy we have could play center field. It's a luxury when you have a bunch of guys that could go get it. But right now you got TC and Drew and Caleb and Nico. Those guys, they can all play center. They could all play the corner spots. TC is a veteran, and he shows you that he can go get the baseball and also put together a really tough at bat. He had an outstanding winter, one of our top hitters this winter as well, and he's looking very good. Drew Crone had a great winter. We keep QAB stats, quality at bats, and Drew finished the winter with the highest QAB average. He probably had the worst luck with the bunch of lineouts he had, but he was really steady. Every time up there, giving a good at-bat, and then from a defensive standpoint, he's fearless. I mean, he'll run right through a brick wall. He'll take away hits, and he's looking really good. Caleb, another super athlete that transferred in. I'm really comfortable with him playing in all three spots as well. He provides, great speed for us. He also has juice in the bat. So, he's coming on really strong too in the wintertime. And then Nico Brini, just an excellent defender. I mean, can go get the ball, not afraid to dive and make plays. And then offensively, he's a tough at bat, a scrapper. And when he gets on base, he's ready to run. So that unit right there, we're really excited about.
One of the things you've touched on a couple times now is team speed, and just kind of talking about that from, a stolen base perspective. Last year, when you guys stole multiple bases in a game, 27-3, which is a really good number. Just kind of talk about that, not even just stolen bases, but being able to go first to third, being able to score from first on a double. It seems like a lot of guys are going to be able to run. We always talk about Garbo and not being a great runner, but he's in great shape this year, and he looks faster. So just talk a little bit about that aspect.
Yeah, I think in the college game, I mean, if you can apply pressure on teams, you're going to force teams into mistakes. And we just try to preach to our guys, the more balls we put in play, we could utilize probably our biggest tool, which is our speed. And it was on display this weekend. Coach Mack said it to our guys, I think it was the first day. On Friday, we kind of had a dress rehearsal, and guys were having tough ABs, putting balls in play. We were going first to third. The defense was sped up. And I just really believe that's our best brand of baseball. It doesn't mean we're not going to hit home runs. It doesn't mean we're not going to hit doubles. But when we're consistently applying pressure 1 through 9 with that speed, it's going to be really tough to beat us. I think any pitcher would agree. When you got guys that are fast on the bases, it makes it that much harder. Maybe we'll get more mistakes because they're focusing on the base runners. Maybe they'll spike some pitches, and now we're taking extra bases. So team speed is one of the ways that we're going to have to get runs on the board this year.
Can you talk a little bit about the mentality of the offense in terms of last year, 11 comeback wins when you guys were down after 5 innings? That's a pretty incredible stat to be able to, you're never out of a game, always able to come back.
Yeah, I don't want to live that way, Jones. I mean, look at my hair. But yeah, no, it is. It's great. I mean, we want that. We want our guys to always feel like they're in the fight, because you got to understand it. I mean, a pitcher can make pitches, early on in that game. And we just got to hang in there, with our defense, with our pitching staff. And we always feel like with the type of players we have, we're going to just keep competing. I mean, it's always kind of been our mantra. We talk about the stone cutter, chipping away. We just had our offensive goals for the year. We had a meeting last week, and Coach Des kind of used the term with the guys, we got to be relentless. And all of them were like, all right, let's make sure we write down relentless. And that's just how we play. That's how the Huskies play. I mean, we want to be in your face nonstop and applying pressure. And I always say to the guys, if you're consistent in this game, if you're going to be a good hitter, you got to be consistent the way you show up. And that's something that we want to bring every game. We want to bring that consistency of us just being tough. You're going to get us out. It's going to be hard for you to get us out. And that's just how we demand it from our players. And I think our players really embrace that mentality.
What's the stat that you look towards to your offense? Is it on-base percentage? Is it walks? Is it runs scored? What do you really focus on in terms of your offense when you look at a stat sheet and say, okay, these are the numbers that we're looking for?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it. But I think, on base-wise, I mean, if you're consistently on base, it makes it a heck of a lot harder for that other team. It's when we talk about walks, we're not going to force walks. We're not going to tell guys, we're not going up there just to walk. We're going up there to hit. And we feel a walk is a byproduct of us taking care of pitches that are in the zone. So we want our guys ultra aggressive. If that ball's on the plate, we got to take a good swing at it. We will earn walks. We will earn hit by pitches by taking care of pitches in the zone. So yeah, getting guys on base is really big for us. Limiting the strikeouts so we can use our speed. And sometimes it's really tough. Sometimes there's some nasty pitchers we face, and they're going to get theirs. But I think if we just have that mentality of continuing to stay with it, make in-game adjustments, and the more guys we can find a way to get on base, we're going to like our results.
Lastly, everyone loves the long ball, loves homers. Yeah. You lose Ben Huber, who had 17 home runs last year. You lose Smitty, you lose Freeberger. Are you guys is the long ball going to be as big a deal as last year's team, or do you think it's going to be more of playing the small ball, speed, doubles? You guys have always racked up a ton of doubles over the years.
Yeah, I honestly love long balls too. I mean, it's a quick way to score. Yeah. But I think this year you have throughout the lineup, even guys on the bench, everyone has the ability to drive the ball. It may not be as apparent as, Ben Huber. Well, I can't say that because we have Luke. I mean, Luke can very easily, hit 15 to 20 home runs. I think Corey had 10 last year. It's not our main focus as hitters. We're just trying to get good pitches and take good swings. But I think if they're not going out of yard, I think there's going to be a lot of doubles. I think there's going to be, those singles or walks are going to turn into doubles with our speed. If the ball goes over the fence, it goes over the fence. I think we have guys that can do it, but like I said, we just want to be consistent, put together good at-bats, and I think we take pride in being able to beat you in different ways. If you're going to take away the long ball for us, we're going to lay down a bunt, or we're going to slap a single the other way. So I think this group can bring, all those different components.
Awesome. Thanks, J-Ho.
All right, Jonesy.